Jeff from Gino's Garage. So we're here in our 1984 Wanderlodge, and we're working on a camera upgrade. So this is the original bus had a camera, or I don't know, it was a, so you can see up here, this was the old camera, backup camera, and a TV actually. So what we're working on is, it's just going to be a backup camera. We're going to do a TV upgrade here eventually as well, but the original old Bluebird stuff I've pulled out. This is the other, it's the controller for it, and the TV is down here on the ground. Oh, I don't know if I can get it in the camera. Was for the bus. So this is what was in there. This is the old controller for the TV / camera. And there's the old CRT tube that was up there above the driver. So I got that out yesterday. Yeah, and I've got this panel pulled down. So my plan is to take, this is the new backup camera screen. So my plan is to mount that in here, so that way you see it there. So I'm working on getting all that figured out. So this is the wiring. So there's one cable that runs over to the back of this screen, and then this provides all the power to it. So there's a yellow, and that's power all the time, and then the red is so if you want to turn it on and off. And then you've got 4 input cables for your video. So right now I just have one of them hooked up coming from the back. But yeah, and then in addition to that, so they have these trigger wires, they call them. So when you put power to any one of these, it'll go full screen mode. So if you watch, I'm going to put power to this one that I have connected right now, trigger 4, and it'll bring that entire thing up on full screen. And also I have it toggled right now, so that's going to be the backup camera, so it has the little lines to show you where to back up. I got to get that camera in the back, we'll show you that in a minute, mounted a little better. I went ahead and ran this Smurf tube, they call it, all the way to the back. Well, almost all the way to the back. It stops in the middle. So let's see here. Got a section here where it's cut, where I can pull it through, and then there's the 2 camera cables. I've got some other wiring for Jake's I added. We'll go here in the back. I don't have any lights on back here yet. So, and then that continues on. So this is above the back bed. And that tube continues on back here. So, and that, you can see where I put the camera up top there. And maybe you can hold this up there. There we go. So yeah, I've got to come up with a better way to mount that camera. The old camera was mounted on that bracket, but I need to get it closer to the glass so it'll see the glass, and then hopefully see down, or I can yeah, where it'll mount a little better. So yeah, I have a little wood bracket here, goes on the back of there, and there was a little fan it's dead, so I'm going to see if I can replace that. So every once in a while that glass fogs up, so they have that fan up there to kind of blow air and defog that glass. So, and then I got one more cable pulled back here, and I'm going to run that down, I think, and put a camera close to the hitch on the back of the bus. And then also there's 2 side view cameras that I'm going to put in. Let's see. Thought I had another pulled out here. Yeah, here we go. So this is the side view cameras, and these are all infrared as well, so they work at night. So yeah, as far as the side view camera, I'm thinking I'm going to go on the side of the bus right here. It actually works even with this little trim piece. And then also the nice thing about this is drilling a hole through here, it's going to be below the floor level inside. So even if it did leak, I mean, we'll seal it up, but even if it did leak, it's going to be below the floor level. So, and then we have to we'll do the same thing on this side. Might have to kind of go. The biggest problem I'm not too thrilled with is that the camera is going to kind of be back into the cameras because this is a curve. So I'm not sure yet how we're going to handle that. But on this side, I could possibly go up higher here because it's in the footwell area and I could get to it. The other side, I have the door there, so we'll see. I might figure it out as we go. Try to prop this door up right now. So all that stuff came down in here. Now this stuff this new cabling here is for the new system, which I have the screen just laid here right now. And of course I've got some glare from the flash, but and I've got it hooked up to the old switch. And there you go. So that's 2 of the cameras we have on the back. So I put this one here, you can see it's going to be like a hitch camera. It's going to be number 3. And then this one is the camera up high, just the overview camera. So those are working pretty good. You can toggle this thing between different mode views, 2 views, like that. For all 4 of the individuals. So yeah, that's hooked up. Like I said, what I did was this switch here, I reconnected just for power. So all this stuff is for the old television. Yeah, that was the old tuner knob, and to pick UHF or VHF bands. So that we're just going to leave that in place just because it's, it's not worth messing with. So, but I did wire this in to where it would work off of that. The other thing is, if I turn this off and we turn the ignition on, this screen will come on again too. Alright, so we're headed to the back of the bus. We got this thing all taken out. I got all kinds of parts and pieces, covers removed, so I could pull cable down to the back. But the big thing I wanted to show you was up here. Yeah, you can see that. So the camera is mounted up there. Get a little flicker from the LED light. So I had to kind of modify the bracket a little bit, if you can see that. So to mount the new camera and put it kind of the camera is mounted pretty much up against the glass, so that way you can see through it. That was the only way it would really work. So we got that done, and then I also put a new fan on this plywood, cut a bigger hole, and got a little 12-volt fan to defog the windows. So that's going to go up there like that and screw on, and there's a switch up front that'll kick that on to defog that window. Yeah. So here's one of probably the hardest parts of putting these cameras in, is having the gumption to drill holes in the side of your bus. Not real thrilled about it, but I really want these cameras. So this is the camera. It's got a grommet on it, and we're actually below the floor line. So these rivets here are the floor line. So we're well below the floor line. And it'll come out from underneath, and then we'll just go up through the floor where we can seal it a little better. So just putting these in there, and then just put the grommet in the hole. It's not as critical here because obviously we're going to be above the floor line, so a leak is not going to go really anywhere. And then we'll screw the base on. Screw the base on over that. Kind of going over this corner to kind of compensate for the curvature. Focus. Because if I just mounted it on there, the end of that thing, see how far it sticks out? So I'm kind of going to go across there like that. Kind of counteract the curvature of the bus. So we'll see how that turns out. So here's the final mounting of the cameras. So this guy is, you can see where we mounted on the bus. Gives a pretty good view down the side. Like I said, and it's nice. I went like this down lower because this is below the floor level. So then I go below the floor, and then I drilled up through the floor, and then was able to snake the cable up through the bus across to the other side. And then this side we put him pretty much about the same height. We had to kind of get it between these little screws, so I had to lower it just a touch, but it's pretty much the same height and gives you a pretty good view, you know, down the side of the bus. So I think it's going to work out pretty good. Like I said, again, it's below the floor level, so I just came through there and then went up through the floor, drilled up through the floor, and then chased it up through the pillar in the bus, the windshield pillar, up to the top. Did it on both sides, so worked out pretty good. So that one's the one looking at the hitch, and then that one's just routed along the engine hatch. I don't know if I can get this open with one hand. It's heavy. So yeah, there. Just comes through, it's grommeted. And then it comes through and it runs down across the engine hatch. And then it goes up through with all the other cables through the floor and into the bus in the back closet. And then from there they run down the sides in the luggage bays. That camera and the top camera. You can see that camera in there. Alright, so we got these, all the cameras connected. Took quite a while to chase all the cables down through the bus. And then we have the triggers all connected. So all that wiring, get a light here. All that wiring is all connected where the old TV control box was. I might clean that up and make some more space in there. So the other thing, this is a PT, so above the driver area, behind here, these two relays are the turn signal relays. So the left is the left turn signal, right turn signal. So what I did was I tied into the coil's hot side for the trigger, and then the camera has a delay on it. So even though, you know, it's turning on and off and on and off, it's still, if you put a 5-second delay on it, there you go, that's the left. And then you'll see the delay now. But that delay rides out the, you know, the relay turning on and off. So then it goes back, and then there's the right side. So that's able to make it ride out those delays. Then there's a reverse trigger as well that I actually wired in to the bottom of the gear selector here. I'm trying to find words here. It's hard. Words are hard. So yeah, we wired into the reverse switch on this gear selector. So when you have to get the keys here, you're going to have the ignition on, and then when you put that guy, go to reverse, so then there you go. I don't know what, I think I'm getting some feedback there. I might have to put a choke or something on my power line. So, and then that's got a 5-second delay too. There you go, and then it goes right back to the original. The doggy's in here with us. So yeah, so we got all that hooked up, and then we're gonna have one more, because I've got the one view, so I had to cycle it off there. This 2 view is not 2, 3 is actually like a backup for the hitch camera, so you can see the hitch there, and that's for hitching up the trailer. So I'm gonna eventually, I think I ran an extra wire down below the dash here. This blue wire, yeah. So I think I'm gonna eventually run that to maybe one of these extra switches on the dash, or one of these spots, put a switch on the dash, so that way when I'm backing up to the trailer I can flip that on, and then I'll get that view to line up with the hitch. So the other option would be just to manually push, because you can just push these and bring up each camera. So we'll see. And then there's all these different modes on how the different screens. So you can pick which one you want to see. It toggles through all of them. I like the 4 view like this the best, I think. So we'll leave it like that for traveling. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description of this camera setup that I purchased, so you have an idea what it is.